Welcome, welcome everyone to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out, www.thebestdampodcast.tv. Follow me, Instagram, Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn, and wherever you're watching from, please make sure to subscribe, hit that like, give us a thumbs up, share this link, get it out there. That way, new people can find us, new people can see us, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know if the message tonight resonates. Also, guys, keep in mind that we are completely viewer powered. Just got the main channel back today. Haven't had it for the last week or so. So I'm asking everybody to please consider donating and supporting if you can. The links are in the description below: PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, and Facebook Messenger Pay. And to everybody who does, donate and show some support and love, big ups and big thanks to you guys. Matter of fact, right now, I believe I got a premiere going on BDP2. So I think that's probably where most people are at. I don't even know if the notification went out for this, but we're going to be doing the collective reading for the month of August 2022. This will be a collective tarot reading for the month of August 2022. As always, it seems like every month now, especially the further we get into the year, we have these very, very significant astrological alignments that are really asking us, guys, especially after the month of July, that are asking us to really leave the stagnant energy behind, to create new beginnings. I told you guys in the last video that there would be major opportunities for new love, major opportunities for new careers, new jobs, new growth, especially spiritually. I feel like a lot of different signs right now are either at the final process or stage of ascending or are getting ready to begin ascension. So it's a really, really exciting time. Everybody in the chat, let me know if you guys can hear me. Thank you for the super chat, Stool Purger. Thank you. I really appreciate that. 33. That's what's up. Becca loves Jesus that way. Thank you guys. I appreciate all of you guys, man, for joining me. Like I said, I do feel like everybody's over on the other channel watching the asteroid stuff, right? It's more exciting, I guess, than tarot. But to me, tarot is a good tool, and I'm going to try to use a couple of different decks tonight. I know I said that in the last video, but I got sidetracked and I didn't end up doing it. But I've got a couple of different decks. One of them is the Crow Tarot deck. I also have the Hermetic Tarot deck and the Rider Waite. So I'm going to try to use a couple of different decks tonight and see what we come up with. I'm really interested to see where the energies are going as far as for the collective. This kind of gives us a sneak peek, and at least in my opinion, this gives us a sneak peek at some of the pitfalls that we can look out for on a collective level, just some of the incoming and outgoing energies that we have to work with in our own spirituality, our own spiritual life. I was talking about this earlier, how even things as simple as CMEs, coronal mass ejections, have this incredible significant impact on consciousness, on our spirit, and on the way that our prayers and our manifestations and the things that we're trying to attract actually work with us and against us. Whether it's solar minimum or solar maximum, these bursts of energy have direct effects on our actual spiritual auras. And to me, tarot is a way to pick up on the collective energetic aura and to see how we can work with those energies and how we can use those to our benefit and kind of avoid some of the pitfalls too. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for joining me. Everybody make sure to hit the thumbs up in the chat. Like I said, share the link out there. That way people can find us. Comment in the comment section. Let me know if it resonates. And subscribe. Click the bell. Donate and support. I appreciate it. All right, let's get started. Okay. All right, got a card trying to fall out here. Start with the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, I think right now, this is the overall energy because of us coming out of this grand water trine. And like I said, as we would be going into this kind of moment of optimism around the 24th of this month, a lot of people, especially within the collective right now, are feeling really abundant, really optimistic, in particular when it comes to love, when it comes to work opportunities, money opportunities. A lot of us are at the stage where, and I don't like to speak for everybody as a whole, but I'm just gonna, intuitively go with what I feel. A lot of us right now, I feel like, are at this place to where we know that we've conquered our old karmic cycles. We know for the most part we've dealt with, things of our ancestral past, familial curses, things that have kind of held us back throughout our lifetimes. And many of us within the collective as well have been stuck in repetitive patterns. I know you'll find where, like, especially in love, and sometimes in money and finance as well, but especially in love, you'll find yourself kind of meeting the same person over and over and over again, or you're dating the same kind of person, or relationships continue to end the same way, whether that's they end in a third party scenario, or you end up being ghosted every single time, right? We're finding now that we're outgrowing that, right? We're evolving past all of our old karmic cycles. We're learning the lessons, and we're finally, instead of choosing others and choosing toxic situations, toxic energies, and things that don't really serve us or no longer serve us, we're finding ourselves kind of finding emotional abundance within ourselves, right? Within ourselves. Yeah, we're crossed with celebration, the Three of Cups. I feel like this is a really kind of celebratory mood too, right? Once you find out that it's you where the key of happiness actually lies, that all of your successes, all of your failures, right? All of the things that you've experienced are a direct result of your thoughts, of your intentions, of the things that you're calling to you. And the universe listens too, guys. So if we're having like nasty thoughts, negative thoughts, and we're constantly looking at things in a pessimistic way, and we're constantly saying, well, what if this goes wrong, or what if that goes wrong? Well, that's the message that the universe receives. So if the universe is getting a message that, hey, I can do this, right? Happiness is within myself, happiness is within my heart, then that's what the universe is going to deliver, right? It's going to bring that celebratory energy. Wow. Ace of Swords, the second ace, and these two aces also signify right off the top, these are new beginnings, right? This is like a time for new cycles starting, new beginnings. I believe it's an entire new paradigm, if you ask me. And the Ace of Swords represents clarity, right? If you look within, especially spiritual communities and the collective as a whole, people are getting a far better picture of not only how our thoughts affect our reality, how our traumas from the past affect our present, but in how we view things actually affects our reality as well, but the reality as a whole. And we're just able to see through the lies. There's a lot of manipulation that goes on within the media. There's a lot of this crap that goes on through television and radio and online and YouTubers. And it's like most of us now, we don't even need nobody else to tell us what we need to do with our lives, what direction we need to go. We have that sort of truth. We have that sort of clarity within ourselves now. And the universe just constantly, to me, keeps reconfirming for us that everything we need is within and that we are equipped. Some of us are coming off of the backs of, really deceptive people, deceptive situations. I feel like that's what creates these lessons, anytime people see that you're growing, anytime people see that you're prospering, or people see that you're evolving and doing things with yourself that they could do too, but they choose not to, right? They choose to stay stuck in those old cycles. They choose to stay stuck in those shitty relationships. They choose to externalize everything spiritual. Then you're going to have jealous people. You're going to have people that want to take what you have, right? And sadly but truly, especially within the spiritual community, this is one of probably the worst things, where a lot of people come to watch videos, especially self-help videos, life coach videos, tarot videos, whatever, because they're seeking guidance, right? They're trying to find answers. They're usually teeter-tottering on something in life, and they're like, hey, I need a little nudge in which direction I should go with this. And people capitalize on that. And our world as a whole has made its profit on capitalizing off of other people's ignorance, other people's weakness. That's why it's important for us to stand in our power, stand in our clarity right now, because there is a lot of spiritual deception still at play. You got to remember that in this time, in not to get biblical, but scripture talks about this will be a time of a strong delusion, of a great deception. And if you look around you right now, I feel like with technology, transhumanism, all of the things that are taking place, there is a lot of deception in the air. Page of Swords. I feel like a lot of us now too have not only started to receive offers and opportunities in life that could kind of lead to new locations, lead to new relationships, new opportunities. But a lot of us are finding ourselves able to let go of the things that held us back from our hopes, from our dreams in the past. Yeah. I feel like the birthing of spiritual children is happening within each and every one of us too. Collectively, we're all birthing that spiritual Christ within ourselves. If I really was to, say that there was an overall theme of 2022, I feel like that's it would be the birthing of the spiritual self, or the birthing of the new you. I know within myself, at least, I went through multiple transformations. I have went through many hardships. I went through moments of doubt, moments of deception. I've had offers that weren't what they appear. I've had offers that, were stuck in on delays. I've had all of these different things that I've had to deal with and overcome within my own personal self. And every one of the things that I end up dealing with always take me back to me. And that the ultimate clarity, the ultimate strength, the ultimate abundance, the ultimate wisdom always lies within, and it's about the inner journey. Knight of Cups. A lot of us, I feel like, are hoping for things to be more prosperous on the emotional front, seeking new relationships, seeking to network and kind of expand and find more like-minded people, more people that are like ourselves, especially when you are in the minority, right? If you look at the population or the masses, most people essentially are clueless to what's going on, even though we are seeing this increase in spiritual awareness. And, even though this has been a big, a big year for awakening and people just kind of seeing through the BS of the system, it's still a very small group of people that are actually empowered enough to do something about it, or empowered enough to separate themselves from it. So a lot more people are seeking opportunities, partnering up, trying to create groups, tribes, if you will, communities. And this is a good time for that. Our hopes and dreams are being met too. If you look at, once you find yourself into a spiritual alignment, once we get ourselves in tune, so to speak, I feel like that's ultimately when the things that are truly destined for us, our destinies to be made manifest, are available to us the most, right? Once we can put ourselves energetically in a place that we don't have our energy all over the place. We're not getting pushed and pulled, into directions that we shouldn't be going. And we've conquered old karmic cycles, and we finally got ourselves pointing in a positive direction. well, then we can begin to take the path of least resistance and move towards our destiny. And some of us have had dreams about, where we're destined to be in life. Some of us have worked really hard at what we're trying to accomplish or what we believe we're achieving. And I feel like right now, too, as the shift in consciousness continues and as people become more and more in alignment, a lot of people are finding themselves to be surprised with what they thought they should be doing or what they thought their true calling was isn't exactly the same as maybe what they were doing the last few years, or isn't exactly the same as what they thought they should be doing, right? It's something totally different. Like, just perhaps maybe you are a teacher or somebody that teaches and you shared knowledge with people like myself. I found myself kind of shifting more into a healing direction, right? And it's like, is this a result of, me finding myself more into alignment? Because as we evolve and as we grow, just as people, we level up and kind of what our abilities are and what we can do. Some people wouldn't have dreamed of reading tarot cards or working with crystals or many type of things just a few short years ago. But after you get yourself in tune and after you finally start to conquer that trauma, after you finally start to get a hold of your thoughts and get yourself pointed in the direction you're supposed to go, then it's like everything starts to really fall into place. We're still trying to find balance, though, juggling our external and our internal lives. A lot of us are still trying to find balance, juggling our jobs and our careers and what we do, out in the normie world, and what we do, for fun, for our passions. Some of us enjoy spending a lot of time in nature. I know that's something that I really enjoy doing, but the work I do has me on a computer, 90% of the day. So it's a balancing act, and I feel like all of us are kind of caught in that energy right now, to where we're really trying to find the balance between the things in life that we need to bring us, kind of completion and happiness within ourselves. And part of spiritual growth too is kind of understanding what you allot what amount of energy to. Maybe previously, some of you would give all of your energy to your job, your work, and none to your relationship, and your relationships would suffer as a result of that. Or some of you would get into relationships and you would throw all your energy into, relationships, and your job would suffer. You maybe would get fired. I feel like right now, though, this is a point in time where the universe is asking all of us to kind of reevaluate that, and to really be balanced in all the things that we're doing. And the hangman, I feel like it is a waiting game, right? Whenever we are in a process of growing, whenever we are in a process of learning, there is some waiting to it. And one of the sayings I can't fucking stand, just to be honest, is you'll hear people say, not in your time, but in God's time, or not in your time, but the right time, not in your time, but the universe's time, things like that. And to me, it's a really frustrating thing to deal with, but that's just kind of how it works, right? Because all of the pieces that are at play, right? Whether it's something to do with our fate, our destiny, our everyday life, our job, our love life, whatever it is, right? We have to make sure that all of the different moving parts are where they need to be in order for the universe to deliver the most happy and joyful experience, or the most positive experience, or the most optimal experience that you need for that particular moment in your life, or that particular time of growth. The world, right? To me, the world, this represents cycles as well, and new beginnings and new chances and new starts. And it also represents the elements. A lot of us are getting back in touch with our spiritual roots. A lot of us are finding ourselves unplugging more from social media. I know at least with myself, and I always try to use myself as an example because I don't like to speak for others, at least with myself. I find it easier and easier each and every day to do less and less of the social media. I find it more and more it's less desirable to do dating apps and shit like that. You want to meet somebody, in person. You want to deal with somebody in person. When it comes to my work, as before, I would want to kind of rush into work and knock out as much as I could and put it all together. As now I'm kind of becoming more meticulous and methodical and wanting to take my time to make sure the quality of the work that I'm doing is a lot more improved. And I feel like this is just a part of us all, really, a result of us getting more in touch and in tune with ourselves, the different parts of ourselves, the deeper inner parts of ourselves, and really becoming more craftsmen with the things that we do accomplish in our lives, and being more focused on our accomplishments. The high priestess, this to me represents kind of sitting in your power, sitting in your power. Especially pertaining to opportunity, relationships, any type of opportunity or relationship. You see she's sitting here, she's got the Torah, which is the truth, right? And the two pillars on each side of her. And she's just kind of sitting there humbly, looking all regal, knowing her worth, knowing her value, knowing her magic, right? And knowing her craft and knowing what she's capable of doing. And I feel like on a collective level, that's what the universe is asking all of us to be, is kind of be in that high priestess role, is to be confident within ourselves, to be confident within our abilities, to be comfortable with ourselves, no matter how we look, our outward appearance, or what's different about us. She's dressed pretty fucking strange, but it's about being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable with your appearance, being comfortable with the things that are different about you that make you unique, right? And knowing your inner strengths and knowing the parts of you that really add to your life, and knowing what you bring to the table too, whether it be in a relationship, a friendship, job, career, your passion, knowing what you bring to the table. If you're a good speaker, there's nothing wrong with understanding, like, hey, I'm a damn good speaker. If you're a good teacher, nothing wrong with, understanding that you're a good teacher. And it's not about being arrogant or overconfident, but about being kind of in your power, but in humility in your power, kind of humble in your power. If you really are confident of your ability to do something, then you're humble in your ability to do something. You don't have to brag about it. You don't have to, you don't have to flaunt it. It's something you already know. You're sitting in a bed watching BDP, sitting in your power. Yeah, hey, dude, you know what? But that right now, this is like a moment of gathering. I do these videos not just because I'm trying to like generate income. I like the gathering too. I like to be able to get with like-minded people. Uh, do things like read tarot cards and discuss the issues that are going on all over the world, and discuss the different schools of thought on spiritualities. This is like this is my church. And this is one of the places where I've grown the most, for good or bad. I come rain or shine, and I know a lot of you guys do too. Like, not every time one of us come to these chat rooms are we in, the best of moods or in the best of shape or have the best of shit going on in life. But this is where we find, like-minded people, and this is where we're working on ourselves, but we're doing it together. We're all a work in progress right now. We're kind of hammering away at those pinnacles, trying to store up those riches in the kingdom of heaven, which the kingdom of heaven is within. We're trying to do it within ourselves. And I feel like that's what we do when we come to these places, you know. If you really think about it, where else are you going to go, especially as far as like a chat room, and just be able to spout off the wildest shit about whatever conspiracy or, you know, thing that's going on in the news, and not be totally ripped apart and attacked if you don't totally agree with the mainstream narrative, right? Not very many places. Where are you going to be able to go and, you know, share your pictures of feathers you found on the ground, or cool looking rocks, or, you know, whatever it is that you're into, and really just be able to embrace who you are outside of communities like this. So to me, for a fact, you know, communities like this have saved my life, you know, just for a fact, and have given me a life, you know, in the things that I love and I care about, where I feel like I wouldn't have had that anywhere else, you know. So I'm really grateful that, you know, these channels are around. I'm really grateful that we go and make Facebook groups. I'm really grateful we have Discords and websites and all of that, because you know, this has really led to that. I feel like we're all directly responsible. We're all working away, you know, kind of chipping away at waking up the planet right now. You know, not only are we all kind of holding space and anchoring energy for the entire planet, as far as like the pole reversal and magnetic shift and shifting consciousness goes. We're all playing our role in that. Sorry about the phone. We're all playing our role in that, but at the same time, you know, we're all doing our part, and essentially amplifying the frequency of the planet with our consciousness. And it's iron sharpening iron. We come into these different places and we have discussions, you know, we talk about things that are not always so nice. Think about a lot of the shit, you know, especially back in 2017, 2018 with Q and all of that. Some of that shit was super uncomfortable, whether it was a psyop or not. That's neither here nor there. The point is, you know, we're the kind of people that aren't afraid to tackle those issues, right? The hard issues. We're the kind of people that aren't afraid to look at the darkness head on. And not only do we just look at the darkness, we go into the fucking darkness. Why? Because we are the light, right? We are the light, and without us there would be nothing but darkness on this planet, you know. And I feel like a lot of us are in that hierophant energy right now too. We're kind of in our spiritual peak, you know, really learning how to master energy, master self, hold stability, hold ground, hold light, and not kind of be swayed by the world, you know, in one way or the other. Where, as opposed, especially into like early awakening, I feel like it's or at least for me it was, you know, I was seeking more confirmation than anything. I think it starts off, you're seeking information first, right? Where you're really trying to find the answers to everything, and that can get you spun around, right? It can be really confusing trying to untangle all the webs of lies and deception, and, you know, all of that we've been fed our entire lives. But after the seeking of the information, and once you have the information, it becomes more of a thing about confirmation. It's like, now you have your own ideas about what's going on. Now you have your own ideas about what's actually taking place and who's did what and where and all of that. So you're just seeking for information to confirm that. When we get to a point, excuse me, we get to a point even beyond that, to where it even goes beyond confirmation, to where it's like we're just all at an inner knowing, and it's about being able to accept those that think, look, talk, act, walk, you know, differently than you do, right? Because once you have the confirmation, once you have the information, and you've essentially created your own inner identity, it's like, well, now that you have this identity, now that you have this idea, this knowing of what's going on, are you able to jive with somebody that believes differently than you? Right? Especially in spirituality. Think about it, guys. Like, just for example, if you are somebody that believes more of a Christian centric point of view, are you able to deal with somebody that's more of a Luciferian? Can you have a conversation with somebody like that? Can you agree to disagree? Right? And it's like we're being challenged to do this in every area of our life. It doesn't matter like where we're at and what we're doing. We're always being challenged, like, to not just accept the differences for the way that they are and not be and I don't like over indoctrination, right? There's one thing of sitting in your spiritual power and that spiritual knowing and just kind of that inner knowing of self. And then there's another thing of kind of overly indoctrinated and becoming self-righteous and self-pious. And that's where I think religion really does people a disservice. And it doesn't just pertain to religion. This is political point of views. This is, lots of key issues. This can be locally at your fucking supermarket. You can be completely polarized or diametrically opposed to another person's opinion, but true growth is saying, okay, I believe differently than you, I see this shit differently than you, but not only am I okay with your beliefs that are different, not only am I okay if they're completely polar opposite than mine, but I'm willing to listen, right? I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to hear them out. And I'm not going to be angered by them. They're not going to rub me the wrong way, no matter how much I disagree. And I'm still going to accept and I'm still going to love you, no matter how you see it or what you believe. I'm the lovers. A lot of people associate this with, and I do too. I think it has dual meanings, like I do with everything, because our reality is such a paradox. A lot of us right now are finding ourselves meeting our twin flames, right? Meeting our soulmates. But ultimately, to me, it's a reflection of us and our higher selves, right? That's like your true soulmate is you, right? It's you finding you. It's that shadow side matching up with the oversoul. That's the true lovers right there. It's falling in love with yourself, falling in love with your own spirit, falling in love with your own company, falling in love with your own strengths, your own weaknesses, your own likes and your own dislikes. But once you're able to do that, and once you finally have found stability within yourself and you have found confidence within yourself and you've learned how to love yourself, you've learned how to forgive yourself and be accepting of yourself and kind of take it easy on yourself whenever you fuck up and you make mistakes and whatever, right? You're going to find 9 times out of 10 that you're gonna attract, right, the person that is, you know, um, made for you as far as true love goes. And I'm a person that also believes if you're gay, then they'll be of the same sex. If you're heterosexual, then they'll be of the opposite sex. Like however you're made, that's how your soulmate will come back at you as, right? Like it's going to come to tailor made to you, but you have to first love you first. You have to first deal with your own karma, deal with your own trauma, straighten out your own thoughts, straighten out your own emotions, work through your own shit, and then it opens up the door by you being in alignment, by you connecting the mind and the heart and making the two become one. Then that opens up the door for, you know, um, expanded opportunities when it comes to love. And there's different versions of love too. Um, Sometimes it's called, twin flame love, where it's more, we have karmic love where, you'll kind of see the repeating cycles, right? Where you get the same kind of person. Um, like I said, I feel like I've dated the same girl like fucking 5 times in a row. No shit. She just had a different face and body each time, but that was my karma. you know, so it seemed like a very similar situation, very similar circumstance, and have a very similar fucking ending until I finally learned the lesson, you know, from the situation. And then things begin to change, then things begin to evolve. And it might just be one part of that that changes, one part of the situation, one part of the circumstance. It gets a little better, a little improved, until you finally overcame that karma, right? And overcame that karmic cycle. But when you have the twin flame love, it's like the runner and chaser love. It's like you guys are made for each other, but one of you is generally ready and the other is not. So one of you sees it and the other doesn't, right? So you have one of you kind of running the other direction and one saying, hey, wait, we're supposed to be together, right? And, you know, kind of chasing after. And that dynamic can switch back and forth because, you know, it's the pendulum swing too. Love is a pendulum swing, just like any other form of energy or polarity. Love works the same exact way. And, you know, kind of like a trick or the secret sauce is whenever you're not given, and if you think about it in terms of magnetism too, pertaining to love, if you think about it like that, if you're giving all of your energy and you're focusing, you know, your energy, your magnet onto another person, well, naturally, you know, they're soaking all of that in, and once they've had enough, they're like, okay, well, I've had enough of this energy. I'm going to go the other direction now, right? And they're going to run as you're continuing to give everything and chase, you know. But once you withdraw, they're like, yo, where's the energy of you know, John or Rachel or Tim, or you know, I need that now, you know. And you're going to see the dynamic switch or the pendulum shift. And with the soulmate, to me, that's like a real a true mirroring, right, of one another, where you might even be astrologically, signs might even be binary opposites. There might be polar opposite signs, but you complement each other in all of the right ways. Like if one sign is incredibly logical, the other will be sensual and fun. If one side is, you know, irrational and hot-headed, the other side would be, you know, really calm and easygoing, right? And it's almost like this perfect complementary type of love with soulmates. And what you'll find a lot of times too, even with karmics, whether it's twin flames or soulmates, you know, there's been a lot of these situations where, and I feel like I'm a firm believer in this, that a lot of us have been in multiple lifetimes together. You know, whether we're lovers or not in this life, I feel like those of us just in the chat room right now have probably, you know, there's no telling. We might have been, you know, in the Crusades and shit, in the Templars getting burned at the stake together, you know, back in the 1600s. You never know, right? Like, I mean, that's just how crazy it is. And that's probably just how many experiences in life we've had too. We could have been with Jesus at the cross. We could have been kicking it with Buddha. I mean, there's really no telling how many lifetimes all of us have experienced together. And usually when you see the dynamic of lovers, especially star-crossed lovers, where there's, you know, I've dated people where astrologically it's like, how the fuck do you exist? You know what I mean? Like, how does this, you know, who made all of these alignments between us, you know? And you know, especially in those type of situations. And I know a lot of you guys have probably, you know, did that too, especially if you look into compatibility with people or astrology whatsoever, which I'm a big astrology nerd, so I do. But you see those star-crossed situations, you're like, how does this even happen? And it's like, yeah, I think there's been multiple lifetimes, and you'll see too the karmic wounds from those type of love situations. A lot of times, um, they come from multiple lives. Like maybe you were betrayed lifetime after lifetime, or cheated on lifetime after lifetime, or killed lifetime after lifetime. And that's what I feel like at the end of the cycle, a lot of us are actually dealing with now, right? We're actually dealing with the trauma and the karma and the energetic ties and curses and contracts from not just this life, but previous lifetimes. And there's no telling, the type of shit that we've been through, in times past. I'm not really sure how it works on when they do these harvests, how many lives we get to live between each harvest. And I just know that we don't remember, right? We don't remember the lives of old. And it does seem that the more humanity goes on through the cycle, the more fragmented and fractured we become. So that naturally means at one point, we were part of a soul, we reproduce, we break into more pieces of soul. So that's just more experience, more lives, right, that we've all lived, and I feel like this is kind of the end result, right? The Nine of Pentacles, right? Just kind of seeing ourselves as that flowing, abundant, beautiful energy that we all truly are. Recognizing the divinity within each and every one of us, recognizing that everything that we need is already on the inside. And I know that's easier said than done. Especially when trying to manifest or attract things. I get on here whenever I do videos, no matter, which channel I'm on, what kind of video I'm doing. I come on with the true intention of attracting people because I want to bring awareness to the things I'm talking about. I don't always accomplish the goals that I set out, but I feel like whatever that is accomplished is what is meant to be accomplished. So whatever we need is within us, and whatever is needed to be done or accomplished by each and every one of us, it will be done, right? That's what our life's purpose is, that's what our life's destiny is, and that's what we're here for, and if we want to attract, say finances, right? Money is a big problem for a lot of people, especially today's economy and the things that are going on around the world. Not everybody's got it made in the shade, right? So one of the mentalities I try to have is whenever I'm trying to attract, money or finances into my life, is I try to act as if I already got it. You know what I mean? I'll be broke as fuck, but I got this attitude like, well, I'm going to receive donations. I'm going to receive gifts today. I'm going to have what I need. And whether it's the last minute and I still don't have what I need, I'm still acting as if I do, because it's that attitude or that spirit of lack that kind of produces more lack, right? Whenever we're in that feeling of lack, and it's hard to get out of lack. Once you're in a lack mentality and once you feel like you're in a rut, it's really hard to dig your way out of it. I get myself in them, from time to time too, where it's like, damn, I just, I really can't, I can't make it happen. I can't make the bills happen. I can't get the people to watch. I can't, and once you get that fucking dirty snowball rolling, it's like, it just gets bigger and bigger, and it really becomes harder and harder for us to kind of, switch the pendulum and go back in the other direction. So, Christ said, by your faith you were healed. So it's literally, if our thoughts are creation, and our intent and our thoughts are what actually create our reality, what actually sends a signal out to the universe, the frequency out to the universe of what we intend to manifest, what we're trying to attract, well, then it naturally only makes sense that if we want to bring prosperity into our life, then to have the attitude of prosperity, to speak as if you already have it, to act as if whatever you need will be given to you, brought to you, and that includes love too. If and I used to joke around with my brother when we were younger. I would say if I was single, I'd say women can smell desperation on you, right? And I believe this, and not just women, men too. You can smell desperation on a person. If somebody, whether they've been single for 5 years or whatever, right? If they're acting thirsty as fuck and they're super desperate and clingy and all of that, you're not going to get the vibe you know, this person's some great catch, you know, wow, how am I so lucky to be texting you right now, you know? You're going to be like, damn, you know, doesn't nobody want you around? Why are you acting like this type of thing, right? So it's act as if you already have it. And it's like, be confident within yourself, even when trying to attract another person. You know, if you know that you love yourself, then you're going to attract other people, you know, that are going to be want to be loved the same way that you love you. You know, if you're totally accept, like, I'm not the easiest guy on myself, but I'm a lot easier on myself than I ever was before. So if I, you know, if I fuck up, you know, I'm like, okay, I fucked up. I'm gonna start from scratch and start over, you know, and I want people to treat me that way, so I treat myself that way. You know, I try to be forgiving to myself, that way others will be forgiving to me. I try to be forgiving to others, that way others will be forgiving to me. And it's just like that energetic exchange in anything we do, having the confidence within our own abilities, having self-love, having confidence, you know, that we are worth it, you know, ultimately. And that's just a positive self-image and a positive self-value. You know, it's really hard in a world of social. You're laughing. Well, dude, I mean, it's fucking true, right? Like, you know, if you think about it, honestly, these things I'm saying, they are true. You know, if you know, if we have the lack mentality, or we're lacking confidence, you know, then we can't really expect other people to want to have abundance with us, or we can't really expect other people to be confident in our ability, confident in our game, you know, if we're not even confident, you know. So that's just, you know, one of the things I've kind of learned along the way, that kind of helps me with manifestations. And I'm also going to say this too: scripting is fucking huge. That's something I religiously do now, is scripting. I like to write out and I am statements, and, you know, write things out like storylines. I will create novels on shit, hypothetical scenarios that have never happened and probably never will happen. That's how much of a scripter I am, and how much I believe in it, because I do believe that writing it down, taking it from your intention and conscious thought and putting it into physical reality, and putting it, you know, pen to paper, or whether you do it on your phone, I don't care how you do it, but, you know, putting it into physical reality from thought actually makes it more likely to manifest too. So if you're trying to attract something, you're trying to manifest something, scripting is a wonderful way. And positive affirmations. I can honestly say positive affirmations was something that I thought was pretty corny, you know, until this year. And when I started doing positive affirmations, I noticed the shit made me feel better, for one. And for two, I did notice that it actually had an effect in my life, you know. And there's an exercise. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but basically, what you do is you stand in front of a mirror and you start on a new moon, which we have one coming up. So this will be, you know, a prime time to begin this. But you go from new moon to new moon, and I've got some new moon rituals I'll share with you guys in a couple of days too, of what I do for manifestation, also. But what you'll do is you start on a new moon, and then each and every day you stand in front of the mirror. And if you got to stand in front of the mirror asshole naked, then stand in front of the mirror asshole naked. I mean, like, whatever you need to do to create a positive self-image. If you don't like looking at yourself naked, then maybe you need to stand in front of the mirror naked. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm trying to say? You're trying to create a positive self-image. So, and if you have no problem with how you look naked, then you can keep your clothes on. But you stand in front of the mirror and you say positive things about yourself, things that you like about yourself, things that you love about yourself, things that you're good at, things that you're proud of, things that you have accomplished. And then you start stating things that you want to attract, things that you want to manifest. And you do this every day from new moon to new moon. And they say that if you do this just one cycle, that you will see like exponential results. Literally by the end, you know, you'll have a whole new swagger in front of the mirror, you know. And This is why I always encourage people to create content too, because if it, like me, I know I make videos, but I'm probably the most antisocial person you will ever meet. I'm a Virgo, like, so I am the hermit, you know. And if anybody's ever called my phone, they know I rarely answer. I'm not very good about texting back, and it's because I'm just always in antisocial mode. And I started making videos basically as a way to be comfortable with speaking my own truth, to as a way to connect with like-minded people, you know, through the communities and things like that, and as a way to be more confident in myself, and just kind of looking. I didn't like the way I looked on camera. I didn't like the way I sounded. You know, there was a lot of things that I didn't like about myself when I started doing this. People will remember years ago, I would have my hair in my face and everything. I tried to hide myself and all of that, you know. And over the years, you know, you build confidence. And even if nobody ever sees the video and it's just something you do on your cell phone, and it's just talking about what you bought at the fucking grocery store that day. You know, it really is good though to do something like that, practices like that, to where, you know, you have to look at yourself, whether it be from new moon to new moon, you know, standing naked in the mirror, you know, saying positive things and things you want to manifest and all of that, or it's something as simple as speaking your truth, you know, and creating your own YouTube channel, or doing it on Facebook and posting it on Facebook. However you need to do it to reinforce positivity and a positive self-image. Yeah, thank you. You're holding space for me in your heart. The power of thought. Well, the power of thought is intense, and that's the thing too. Like, um, there's been, and I feel like we don't credit ourselves enough. Always the person in front of the camera gets all the credit because they're sitting in front of the camera, but hardly ever do we credit the people that are always sending positive thoughts, positive prayer, that are holding space, that are taking time to, you know, share the videos out, that are giving their hard-earned money so these channels can keep going. It really is a community group effort. If people didn't engage, and nobody would want to come. Like, it really does take a tribe, you know, for anything to be successful. And I'm not saying I've been the most successful, or I'm the, you know, even the person you should listen to, or even watch for that matter. Um, but I am saying that this community and other ones like it have helped me just a whole bunch as far as learning. I've learned so much as a result of doing this, and I've grown so much as a result of doing this. Um, and we'll never reach perfection. And I'm not trying to. Like, I don't want to be perfect. I don't know about you, you know, but I don't want to be perfect. You know, like, I don't. I like fucking up sometimes. Like, it's fun. I like I like being bad sometimes. It's fun. You know what I mean? Like, life would be boring if, you know, we were these walking models of perfection, or what people considered perfection. You know what? To me, we would be, that's piety. To me, is that false self-righteousness, that false self-sense of piety, right? Like, that's what religion creates to me. It's like where you're lying to yourself and convincing yourself that you never make mistakes anymore because you know God now. It's like, man, I've known God my whole life. You know, I just so happen to be a part of him or her, right? We've all known God our whole lives, so that's nothing new, and that should be square one right there. It should not be some, you know, big revelation to say, oh, I met God today. No, well, you knew him the moment you were born. It's called your spirit. You know, we all are born knowing God. We all have that inherent gift. So for one, you know, we shouldn't be making this exclusivity or inclusivity out of it, to where, like, oh, you can't know him but I can, right? Oh, I teach, so I can know him way more than you can, when we know that's not true. There are pastors that get caught cheating on their wives and doing things to people, and, you know, so it makes no difference who teaches, who preaches, who does what. We all have an equal antenna, so to speak, to communicate with spirit. We're all born with that inherent gift. So it should be coming natural to us to have that, right? So spirituality, in my opinion, should be something it should be natural, right? And religion, if it's too rigid, and I'm not saying religion doesn't do good things for people's life, it really does. I started with religion. If I wouldn't have went down the path of religion, I never would have done these kind of videos, so religion did lead me into this, and it was when I started asking questions in religion and I got scolded for asking those questions is what kind of, led me away from the indoctrination. But I feel like we get really rigid in our beliefs, and because we get rigid in our beliefs, then we have this false sense of ego, right? That false pride, that false self-righteousness, where we're like, okay, I'm religious now, so I can't possibly make a mistake, or I don't smoke weed now, I'm Christian, right? Or I don't drink because I'm this, or you know, I can't have casual sex now because of this. And it's like, well, I'm pretty sure that human beings have been basically the fucking same since the jump, and there's been those among us who, drink more than others, those among us who have sex more than others. There's just been those among us who have different sorts of demons. And not all of us see all things as demons too, right? Some people see sex as an expression of love, and some people use it, they perform it in rituals and in magic, and they see nothing wrong with it. So who am I to judge that person and say that my way is right, your way is wrong? Don't make me practice what you practice, and I won't make you practice what I practice. I won't judge what you do, and you don't judge what I do. I that's my kind of thoughts and opinions on everything. And when we get into religion, we create a system of rules that says, well, if you don't follow what I follow, well, then basically you're a piece of shit. And I do believe though that for me, whatever you practice or whatever you're into, there has to be, if obviously if it can get you sick, and speaking of, sex and stuff like that, if it's something that if you're not safe, it can make you sick and can be dangerous and shit, I obviously wouldn't say it's a good idea. But to each their own. I'm not gonna walk around, preaching at everybody and telling them, you know, um, what's the right way or wrong way to live their life, and what's the right thing or the wrong thing to practice. All I know at the end of the day is that our intent is where it begins, our thoughts is where it's created, and the energy goes into motion through our emotions. And when we speak it and we act it out, we put it into reality. We tell the universe what we want, and it's called to us. So if we want good lives, then we try to put out good energy. And if we want darker lives, then we can revolve ourselves around darkness. And it's a conscious choice and a conscious decision. Do I think you're going to hell if you choose darkness? I honestly, I don't know. I've never been there. I do believe though that as the veil continues to drop and manifestation becomes more and more instant, and karma is more and more instant, and attraction is more and more intense, that people will be more careful with the choices they make when they have to deal with karma a lot sooner and a lot more intense than they had to in times of the past. Because that's one of the one things I don't like is when you put out a bunch of darkness and garbage and junk, and you try to avoid getting that back. Like what's good for you is good for me. So if you want to go around hurting people, then you can only expect to receive that kind of energy back. And the same goes with positivity, enlightenment, love, and truth. If you go around trying to wake people up and trying to serve others, yeah, a lot of people will try to take advantage of you. I hate to say it, but positivity doesn't just attract positivity, it also attracts parasites, right? And vice versa. You ever notice parasites all the time attract a positive person that wants to fix them or heal them, you know? So opposites attract just the same as, right vibe, right tribe. So, I mean, you're going to always have the inverse of that. But I will say eventually, though, if you continue to try to do the right thing, if you continue to put out good energy, and if you continue to help people and sow good seeds, that you are storing up that for yourself. And that ultimately, as you raise your vibration, as you get yourself more in alignment with what that is through consistency, right? That's what you're going to attract into your life. And, if the parasites come, you're going to be able to sidestep those bitches with ease because you're going to have had the experience and learned all the lessons you needed to learn, and able to kind of to curb those bitches. You're not going to have to worry about parasites if you consistently put yourself in alignment with positivity and things that bring goodness into the world. Yeah, exactly. Well, demon parasites, yeah, some of them, I would call demonic. I would call demonic. Sorry, this light's blistering me. I'm sweating. Um, I would call it demonic, but demon to me is just it's a mask. It's a daemon. It's a mask. It's a darker persona that we wear. To me, it's a distortion, right? It's a distortion. So, demonic, you could really go and say, if you wanted to, that you know John King is a demon, right? It's my spirit that's the light. My lower carnal side really is my mask, that I wear. The personality, the ego that I call myself, is just as much a demon as a succubus or an incubus or whatever other entity you want to talk about. It's just it's a different version, a different frequency. That I don't feel like all entities are created equal. I feel like just like with angels and gods and guides and all of that shit. There are good angels and there are bad angels. There are good frequencies and there are bad frequencies. There are good people and there are bad people. You know, soul sappers, yeah, narcissistic persons. Yeah, what? I think that's a fine balance. So, excuse me, is the whole narcissist thing, because we're always encouraged to have this self love and this positive self image, but like too much of anything is not a good thing. So like if you're too focused on self, and if you got this idea of the world, that the world only revolves around you and you're the only thing that matters and your feelings are the only feelings you consider, and as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. That to me is a narcissist that uses other people only to feed themselves and to feed their desires and feed their lust. And, that's a narcissist. But there's also, positive self image and, things like that too. So there is good self love. The sad thing is, most of the narcissists I've met are really good bullshitters. So they will use psychology and shit like that, mirroring and all types of tricks to try to justify their narcissism. They'll try to act like it's positive self love or positive self image or confidence, right? When in fact it's covert narcissism. So you got to be really careful about that. And I hate to say it, in the spiritual community, excuse me, getting yawns. Huh. In the spiritual community, there are a lot of covert narcissists too. A lot of people, once you've accumulated a lot of knowledge, you can kind of become a know-it-all. Some people think that I'm a know-it-all, and maybe I am. Who knows? I don't feel like I am, but people get that idea once you really start to know yourself, or a lot of things and you seek a lot. And some people spiritualize the ego. So instead of internalize things and do real soul searching with their spirit, all they essentially do is they spiritualize their ego and try to make their ego seem spiritual, and that's a big narcissistic tendency. And I've met a lot of fucking people over the years online and had girlfriends and all of that, that did exactly that, and I'm not going to name names either because they would probably kick my ass if I did. Ted Bundy was brilliant. Yes, absolutely. He was brilliant at using psychology to justify his criminal acts. That's what I mean. Almost any, especially somebody that's fucking unstable and narcissistic or really parasitic, you'll notice that. I mean, I've had I've had encounters with that, let's just put it that way, to where I've dealt with some fucked up people, some covert narcissists, and people that were not good folks, and that would truly harm and traumatize others. And that's what they did, was they used psychology and every spiritual they were brilliant bullshitters of spirituality, put it that way. And I met them in spiritual communities too, people like this. Some of the people that screwed me over the very worst I've met in communities like this one or similar ones. So been there. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I'm getting tired here. I'm getting the yawns. I do want to thank all of you guys for watching. I want to ask you all, please subscribe and click the bell. Make sure to go to all the different channels and follow and subscribe. And if you can, please, please, please donate and support to me on PayPal or Venmo or Patreon or Cash App or Facebook Messenger Pay. I just got my channels back today, and this is how I make my income. So I haven't been making any income for the last 2 weeks. So if you can, please drop me a couple bucks, buy me a coffee. I would greatly appreciate it. If you appreciate the energy I put out there, it would be awesome. So subscribe, hit the like, leave a comment. Let me know if any of this resonated, and share these links and get them out there, guys. I appreciate all you guys so much, man. Thank you all for watching. And tomorrow night, I should have some really, really killer videos coming. So it's going to be a little bit more of what you're used to from me. And we're going to do the individual signs. I'll post those videos. I've already got all the thumbnails made too for the love readings and all of that. I've got a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm working really hard. So support me and subscribe and hit the like and comment. All right, guys. Peace.